the aisleway and have Connor McDavid come up and say, hey, how are you doing? But in triathlon, you're on the course with these people. And like, it's close enough that you can go up and you can, pat the guy on the back and say, hey, how are you doing, Simon? And Simon will say, very well, thank you. At one of the races, I think it was the same one where Evan threw up on Simon's feet, they had the corporate race. So the corporate people are in here, and I was a volunteer, I was at the end, and this girl comes in, and she's excited. Like, she's way down the list of people finishing, but she's excited, and I'm going, why are you so happy? It isn't just because you finished the race. And she says, you'll never guess what. And I said, what? And she said, Simon Whitfield, the Olympic gold medal guy, changed my flat tire. And I'm going, what? She said she came out of the water off the swim. She went in where all the bikes are wrapped up. Like if you've been to Horlick Park and you get out of the lake, like where the lake is, you've got to run all the way through the parking lot to get to where your bikes are set up, because they put them far away. The elite people are nice and close. But she said she got to her bike and there was a flat tire. She had a flat tire on her bike and she was just devastated. She said she was just standing there and she started crying because she wasn't going to be able to finish this race. And she's standing there and she's crying. And she said this little guy came up and he said, don't worry, I'll fix that for you. And ripped the bike off. And these guys, these athletes, like 2 minutes and he's changed the flat tire. He's pumped the thing up again because you just strip it off. It's not like these where they're glued on. She had one where it was a regular bike tire and you pop the tire off, you rip the tube out, you put another one in, you pump it up and you're ready to go. It takes me like 20 minutes if I got to change that on my bike. But boom, and he's gone. And she said, oh, thank you, thank you. She goes out and races and she hears somebody say, oh, geez, that was a nice thing to do, Simon. So you're thinking, you're going, this is a guy who won a gold medal, and actually he ended up winning silver medal too. And he takes the time to help out somebody at a little race, a corporate race, to change the tire. And there are all kinds of stories like that. Which brings me to my story. I got to snuggle with a Frenchman. It was amazing. It was an amazing experience. 2 years ago, they've got the race here, and for some reason the way the schedule worked out, Edmonton had to have the race. It was scheduled for the long weekend in September. And I was supposed to do that race. And we were racing in the morning and then the elites were racing in the afternoon. And one of the things that I always do before a race, that you just heard Robin mention the bonking thing, I have a tendency to dehydrate. Even if it's cool weather, I'll dehydrate. So the day before the race, I start drinking lots and lots of water, which means in the middle of the night, I gotta get up and pee, You guys all know that. You gotta get up and pee in the middle of the night. So I get up, and I go to the bathroom, and I look out the bathroom window, and it's snowing. There's actual snow coming down. And I thought, I'm supposed to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning, and this is about 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm just going, I'm not gonna race. If it was 20 years before, I would have raced. But I looked at it and I went, I've done over 50 races in my life. I don't have to do another one in the cold. So I'm a fair weather racer now. So I went back to bed. And when I got down there for the races, I was told, they said, they canceled the swim for you guys. The age groupers didn't swim. So they turned it into a duathlon, which meant instead of the swim, you do a run. And then you do your bike, and then you do the run. And these guys were saying, it was crazy because after that first run, even though it was only 2.5 Ks, people were soaked because you're running in the rain now. It wasn't snowing, it was rain. You're running in the rain, you get on your bike, you're frozen anyways, you would have been better off swimming. Because you got the wetsuit. But anyways, I'm down there and I'm working the water stations, the aid stations. Because that's what I do, is I go and I participate in my race, and then I go and I give bottles of water to people when they're running, because that's the most fun, talking to them when they're going through. And in the elite race, my job, I was the can holder. These guys would, normally when you come running by, and these guys don't slow down when they're coming through, so they're running fast. They'll do a 5K race in, I don't know, 20 minutes, something like that. Like these guys are incredible. So they come running through, and you're supposed to hold the bottle up in your hand, you put it on your palm, and you have to lead them a little bit with this thing as they're coming through. These guys come by, they grab the bottle, they drink some, pour it on their face, and they toss the bottle. Now in the old days, You can take it as far as you want or throw it wherever you want, but they have a littering area now where they say you got to drop it here. Or you either go back and pick it up, or you get a 30-second time penalty. So these guys come running by, get the water, and they run so fast, they'll drop the thing. So my job for the elites was to pick up the bottle so nobody else would step on it. So I'm right on the course, like I'm here, and these guys are running right there, and they're running fast, really fast. It's cold though. In the women's race, which went first, only 2 women took bottles. And I got to be the can holder and pick them both up. You know, run over, pick up the bottle, give it to one of the little kids that's watching the race, because you're, oh, that's cool, water bottle, we like that. So I'm there for the men's race, the elite race, and I'm standing where I'm supposed to be standing, and you're not allowed to cheer. At least that's what I have to tell you. You're not allowed to cheer, because that would give one athlete an unfair advantage. Or you can cheer for everybody. Which I do, I cheer for everybody. So everybody that's coming by, I'm yelling at him. So I see this guy running by, and he's wearing the French colors. So I know he's a little Frenchman. And he runs by, so he's running that, he's on that side, because there's 2 lines, so he's on that side as he's running by. And as he's running by, I'm going, allez, allez, mon ami, allez, vite, vite, vite. And he looks at me, and I'm going, that didn't look like a friendly look. And he goes running around, and he's coming back the other way. And for some reason, some people, when they did the race, they pulled on long sleeves, like on your race suit. You don't have long sleeves, like when you're swimming, but you can pull these special sleeves on. So some people have put that on, and they had all their stuff up, and the same guy's coming back, and he's got his suit unzipped, which you do when you're racing in 30-degree weather. And it doesn't really make any sense to me at the time. He comes running by, and I'm standing there, and I can see the guy coming, and I'm trying to make eye contact with him, just to see if he's going to take a bottle, and if he's going to be tossing this thing. And he gets close to me. So he's running like this. I'm going to bring Alex out here. Alex is going to be me for a second. He's sort of standing. He comes running out like this. So he's running along, and he's running really fast. And when he gets up close to me, all of a sudden he's like this. And I'm thinking, he's going to knock me down. He's going to crush me like a bug. He's only this tall. It maybe weighed 135 pounds, soaking wet because he was soaking. He comes running up, and so I back up like this because I thought he was going to hit me. I thought he was mad at me. And then when he gets about here, thanks, you're done. Get out of here. Now, once he gets past me, he's like this, and he's staggering, and he looks like he's drunk, to tell you the truth. And it looks like he's going to go down. So I'm thinking, hypothermia. This guy, he's going to collapse on the track. So here's my chance. I can be a hero. I'm going to catch him and keep him up in the air so he doesn't fall. I'm sprinting. I'm at full sprint for me to try to catch this guy as he's staggering. He staggers faster than I can run. So fortunately, there was a coach. I don't know where the guy was from. He had a thick Slavic accent. He caught the guy, because the coaches can be out. He caught the guy just before he hit the ground as I get there. But the coach is a little guy and can't really hold this guy. So I wrap the Frenchman up. I got my arms around the Frenchman. So I'm giving him a big hug. I get to snuggle with the Frenchman that's there. And I'm just holding him in spot because he was with the lead group. So all these other runners are going past now. And I'm holding on to him because I don't want him staggering around and getting crushed like a bug. So I got him in a big hug like this, and the coach is trying to throw a towel around him to keep him warm. And then, once the runners are gone, I take him over to where the grass is and just sort of drop back on the ground while I'm giving him the big hug because I'm trying to keep this guy warm. But he's shaking so hard, it's like a dog shaking off a flea. Like he's just trembling, and I'm holding him, and he's got us all over the place, and other people are coming by. And I'm going, bonjour, little Frenchman. How are you? Do you know whether you are? And he can't talk. He's totally wiped out. But after that, I'm thinking, I gotta see if this was recorded, because the race is on TV and everything, so they could see me snuggling with the Frenchman. But I was never able to find it. And it's funny because I talked to the organizers of the race afterwards, and said, what happened to the Frenchman who went hypothermic? And they're saying, nobody went hypothermic in the race. And I'm going, you liar. Because they wanted to protect the, the integrity of the race, that everything was fine, they shouldn't have canceled it or anything else, it was okay. But one Canadian had been pulled out of the race because they caught him just as he was getting off his bike. He was blue, I guess. They didn't even let him out on the course. And they shouldn't have let the little Frenchman out too, because it was his first lap when he came back. Because he would come off the bike, and I've seen people do this in races I've been in, and their hands are blue, and you just never warm up. And the speed these guys run, they don't generate enough heat to warm up their body. So that was my snuggle with the Frenchman story. That was fun. That was fun. And then, yeah.